Have you ever really thought about what happens with every single breath you take? I mean, it's this incredible, perfectly choreographed dance that happens inside your body thousands of times a day without you even thinking about it. So let's do that. Let's follow a single breath and see just how it powers your every move. Go on, do it right now with me. Take a big breath in and out. You feel that? That air just kicked off a journey that's way more complex and way more vital than you can probably imagine. We're going to trace its exact path, from the air all around us to literally every single cell in your body. All right, so our journey starts with getting that air into the lungs. We're going to follow it from the moment it enters your nose all the way down to its final stop, deep inside your chest. You know, it's a beautifully simple mechanism when you think about it. Picture your chest, kind of like a bellows. You have this big muscle at the base of your lungs called the diaphragm. When it contracts, it pulls down. And that creates this vacuum, this negative pressure that just sucks air right in. That muscle, it's the engine of your breath. Now, the air doesn't just, fall into your lungs. It gets prepped along the way. First, it's filtered and warmed up in your nasal cavity. Then it zips down your trachea, which is this cool tube that's reinforced so it can't collapse on itself. From there, it branches off through the bronchi into each lung, navigating tinier and tinier little passages until it reaches its final destination. And this is where the magic happens, the alveoli. We're talking about hundreds of millions of these tiny, microscopic, balloon-like sacs. Get this, if you could lay them all out flat, they'd cover an entire tennis court. It's absolutely wild. These little guys are the crucial meeting point, the border crossing between the air you just breathed and the blood that's keeping you alive. Okay, so let's get to the main event. This is the moment the respiratory system literally hands the baton over to the circulatory system. This is the great gas exchange. So here's the deal. It's a two-way trade. The walls of those alveoli are incredibly thin, and they're wrapped in this dense net of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Oxygen from the air you just inhaled just effortlessly passes from the alveoli right into your blood. And at the exact same time, your blood drops off its waste, carbon dioxide, which passes from the blood back into the alveoli. It's a perfect swap. So how do you get rid of that carbon dioxide? The whole process just reverses. Your diaphragm relaxes, it moves back upward, and that gently squeezes your lungs, pushing that used-up, CO2-rich air right back out the same way it came in. So breathing in is active, but breathing out is totally passive. So simple, so efficient. And the body's design is just so clever, it doesn't stop there. That very same air on its way out serves a whole other purpose. It flows past your vocal cords, making them vibrate. And that's how we speak. It's how we sing, how we communicate. Your breath quite literally gives you your voice. Okay, so the oxygen is officially in the blood. But now what? How does it get to, say, your big toe or your brain? Well, that's where our superstar organ, the heart, takes over the whole show. The best way to think about the heart is as two separate pumps that are just working side by side. The right side, its entire job is to take the used-up, deoxygenated blood from the body and pump it over to the lungs. The left side, it gets that fresh, oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and then pumps it out to the rest of the body. Two different jobs, one amazing organ. So let's trace that journey on the right side. The used blood comes back from the body and enters the right atrium. It then goes through a little one-way valve into the right ventricle, which is basically the launch pad. It gives that blood a really solid push right toward the lungs to get that critical oxygen refill. Now, for the heavy hitter, the left side. Fresh from the lungs, that bright red oxygen-loaded blood flows into the left atrium and then into the left ventricle. And this chamber is the true powerhouse of the heart. With one massive squeeze, it launches that blood into the aorta to be delivered everywhere, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And I'm not kidding when I call it a powerhouse. I mean, our source material says it right here. The left ventricle is the thickest and most muscular chamber of the heart, and it has to be. Think about it. It needs enough strength to push blood through your entire body's network of arteries. It's a huge job. And the aorta, that's the main superhighway leading out of that powerhouse. It's the biggest artery in your whole body. Think of it like the trunk of a massive tree, and all the other arteries are just branches coming off it, making sure every single part of you gets the oxygen it needs to work. So the oxygen has been delivered, but the journey isn't over, right? For this whole process to be continuous, that blood has to make its way all the way back to the start. It's got to complete the circuit. So after dropping off its precious cargo of oxygen to all your cells, The blood, now deoxygenated, gets collected back into veins. Eventually, all these veins merge into two huge vessels called the vena cava, and these act as the main return routes, delivering that used blood right back to the heart's right side. And that completes the loop. The blood is right back where it started, ready to be shot over to the lungs all over again. This incredible circuit happens with every single beat of your heart, timed perfectly with every single breath you take. It's this constant, non-stop, life-sustaining rhythm. Just think about that for a second. This incredibly complex, totally silent journey connects the air all around you to your consciousness, your ability to move, to think, to live. And it all happens without you ever having to think about it. So, as you take your next breath, just take a moment and consider the phenomenal tower you're about to unleash inside your body.